They're finally getting their day in court. Dozens of Jeffrey Epstein accusers packed the Manhattan courtroom Tuesday to share tales of how the multimillionaire pedophile allegedly molested them years ago. One by one, the women, including Virginia Roberts Giuffre and others speaking publicly for the very first time, took the podium to detail the disturbing sexual abuse they say they endured after being recruited as young girls. One victim, only identified as Jane Doe 5, read from a letter she wrote to the dead financier who committed suicide in a Manhattan jail earlier this month. "Dear Jeffrey," she started before dissolving into tears, "you had investigators come to my house and even to my friend's house. I needed therapy several times a week. You wanted to try and blame that we were a lower class and that was the problem with girls." Another woman, Shantae Davies, claimed to the court that Epstein raped her during a massage. "I tried to pull away, but he was already unbuttoning my shorts. I was searching for words, but all I could say was, 'No, please stop.' That seemed to excite him," Davies said. "I have suffered and he has won." She added, "His death has robbed me of justice." The victims collectively expressed feeling tormented by Epstein's suicide by hanging, knowing the justice they seek will never come. "I am still mad, concerned, and confused about how he committed suicide and escaped responsibility once again," one woman said, referring to the wrist-slap plea deal he copped in Florida in 2008. Accuser Courtney Wild slammed Epstein for robbing her and other victims of the chance to finally face him in court. "For that, he is a coward. I feel very angry, sad," she said. "Justice has never been served in this case." The woman and their lawyers were invited to attend a hearing by Manhattan federal judge Richard Berman in light of prosecutors' motion to formally toss the indictment against Epstein in the wake of his death. Some 20 spoke in person, while lawyers for others read their letters aloud. Epstein killed himself August 10th, a day after more than 2,000 documents accusing him and others, including gal pal Ghislaine Maxwell, of sexual abuse were unsealed as part of a since-settled civil lawsuit filed by Giuffre. Giuffre was among the scores of victims in court Tuesday, along with her lawyer, David Boies. Federal prosecutors have vowed to continue their investigation into Epstein's alleged sex trafficking ring and his conspirators. Investigations into these matters have been ongoing and will continue following the dismissal of this indictment here, Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey told Berman. She said the dismissal of the case in no way prohibits the government from charging others in the future or filing a civil forfeiture against Epstein's $577 million estate. Berman, meanwhile, called the circumstances surrounding Epstein's death a rather stunning turn of events. The jurist said he wanted to ensure that the victims in the case are treated fairly and with dignity. He did not rule on prosecutors' motion to dismiss. Lawyers for the late hedge fund manager, meanwhile, called for an investigation into the Metropolitan Correctional Center where he hanged himself. "We are not here without significant doubts," defense attorney Martin Weinberg told Berman. "We want to know deeply what happened to our client." 5 lawsuits have been filed by Epstein's accusers against his estate, and more are expected. Guys, gals, everything in between, what are your comments? Send them down in the basement below. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, gals, everything in between, this is Mavaga Ka saying, I am out.